Eddie, it's following that voice, that pit, doing that thing. Are you ever afraid of losing some of those people that say, "Oh, I love when you sing this or you write this song, but now you're going to Georgia to do what for no." So are you afraid of that?
I kind of, for better or worse, I think all of us, we lean on the fact that, you know, we've kind of been following, this is not straying from the normal path that we've been on, as far as um, whether you call it activism or just reflecting society in our art. It's something we've always done. So if someone were to say, shut up and sing 30 years later, you're just like, well, where the fuck have you been? This is just kind of if you buy a ticket, I've heard that stuff, like, oh, he talked about the homeless in Seattle, and they could have played another B-side, and it's a valid comment, but it also obviously comes from someone who's not homeless.
Mm.
So I think any repercussions we feel, compared to some of the people we've talked to through the years and recently, and as recently as today, who have been acting in active in registering voters, encouraging Latino voters, encouraging those in their neighborhoods to not just register, but to get other people invigorated. And they have received not only themselves death threats, their children have been threatened. And then to think that this is all based on completely fraudulent information. And if we weren't to be part of something, to stand up and support those people, that would be criminal on our behalf. I mean, so again, I think whatever comes our way, we can handle. And if we have to handle some stuff to help people that are, boots on the ground, then that's our responsibility.
Well said, sir. Lynn, um, this is kind of a personal question because I get asked these questions, and especially this question. Do you feel a great responsibility being an artist of color? Do you feel that weight that gets, when they're like, well, you're Latin, here you go, it's all on your back? Do you feel that responsibility?
Yeah, well, it's hard not to. I mean, listen, you know as well as I do, like it's the prerequisite for us even getting in the room is to work twice as hard and be undeniable. In the Heights, my first musical exists because I loved musicals, but I didn't see anything besides Bernardo and West Side Story as an avenue for me to be able to ever make a living doing it. And so again, it becomes the question of, at some point, cold water washes over your face and you go, you have to create the thing that doesn't exist yet, or the thing that isn't being made, and you have to make it. No one's ever going to write your dream show. No one's ever going to write your dream role. And In the Heights really is a response to that. It's really like, can Latinos be on stage and 50 years after West Side Story without a knife in our hands? And West Side Story is a great show, but it's about a really specific thing. And I think very well represented. And like, what other stories can we tell in this genre, in this field I love so much? And so the silver lining and the fun of it becomes, if you are able to create those opportunities, then a ton more people will get in the room. And it's the same with Hamilton. For me, the initial impulse was that Hamilton, in being sort of a proto-immigrant and the sheer volume of everything he wrote, I thought of him as an MC. And so I knew I was going to write hip hop and R&B music. And so of course I'm going to use as much Black talent, as much Latino talent. I want it to sound like the best hip hop and R&B possible. It just sort of proceeded from the artistic impulse. And so, it's, you try not to think of it as a responsibility, but at the same time, every time I'm writing something, I'm trying to get us on the board, and I'm trying to tell the stories that I haven't seen yet. I think that's always the goal, is to write the song that hasn't quite been written yet, getting us on the board is a prerequisite for me even being able to get to talk to you guys tonight.
It sounds like such an easy question that I'm going to ask, but for Pearl Jam, why not just? Some people would say it would just be so easy, right? To just be rock stars, to just do your rock star thing. Why be activist and artist? Why not just fly around in the jet, do the guitar, wear leather? Why not? Why is it important to you? Which that's how I picture it. No, why not just do that?
This is Mike. I'll answer that. In my point of view, I feel like when you have sort of a thing to stand on, and you're feeling in your heart that something is wrong, and I'm a citizen of the United States, and I want to be able to speak my mind whenever I want to. And one of the things I was part of, it wasn't necessarily with the band, when Michael Bennett for the Seahawks was kneeling during the national anthem. I do the national anthem a lot at sporting things in Seattle, but always for something. And I put his number on the back of my guitar, and that was because I believe he has the right to do that, and it makes I always feel if there's some sort of like injustice or and I can raise any awareness to it or just any questions about it, then I want to be part of that. And I think I've learned that being in this band too.
Amen. Hey, so
And Wayne, I was thinking my answer would be like going into like the greatest health food store ever, and then just spending your whole time in the candy aisle.
Okay.
And then you just kind of get sick of it after. It wouldn't take long to get sick of that.
That makes complete
I
sense.
reckon.
So before we close things out shortly, I really need to accomplish something. Now, Lynn, you promoted this event by singing Small Town. So I'm going to ask Pearl Jam how you think Lynn did covering your song. And then when you give your completely honest answer, I will then ask, is it possible to get a little taste of Eddie, you and the fellas doing a little something? I don't know if our technology will support everybody jumping in, but at least just a little bit of you singing.
Yeah, if you've ever sung Happy Birthday in a Zoom, you know how wrong things could go.
Yeah, no. Oh, and there's his guitar tech.
There's my guitar tech. This is Harper.
Hey, Harper.
Hi, Harper.
There you go.
Hey. So how'd you guys think of Lynn's cover?
It was unexpected and unexpected that he knew the chords and played it great. And I thought if only if I could do something from Hamilton that good, it's my daughter, like my kids could really. It's incredible, Lynn. I have to say, I have you here. It's just incredible. I've seen like 7, 8, 9-year-olds putting on Hamilton shows in their backyards. Us parents, we sit back and we watch, and they have it down. Like the moves, every lyric, and how many words, like the density of not only the lyrics, but the rhythms and the thoughts. it's just one of the most powerful things I've ever witnessed. It's such an achievement, and to be
Amen.
able to, yeah.
Well, that means the world from you guys. Thank you.
It's a generational show. I'll tell you, Eddie, the scariest thing in the world isn't singing in front of tons of people. It isn't doing a TV show. It's coming out in the number, bum, da 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 dun dun. You walk out and you see the first few rows where the lights are, nothing but kids looking up at you. And then if you go, how does a bastard orphan son know? But you're in your head going, please don't mess up, because they're going. This man has changed
Wow.
music so that all these kids
Amazing.
then soul songs, and they wait for you by the stage door and go, you were good, but you messed up the part where you were singing to Eliza.
Right. Amazing.
Up critics.
Yeah, man.
So, actually, since we're speaking of young ones, can we have a representative of the youth here today? Do you have a question for Lynn? Ms. Harper, do we have a second for Harper?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, always.
Oh, she wants me to say it now. She wrote it. This is not one of mine or Wayne's. I heard you started writing Hamilton. No, you're good. Okay, she's a little nervous and shy. I respect that. I learned that you started writing Hamilton in 2009, Lynn, in an interview. And there's a lot of lyrics that connect to recent events. And one line that she read and heard was, "Oh, America, you great unfinished symphony, you sent for me, you let me make a difference, a place where even orphan immigrants can leave their fingerprints and rise up." And her question was, how do you think this line connects to recent events? Because things have obviously gotten worse since 2015 when Hamilton came out.
Oh, that's a great question, and thank you
Wow.
for that. I think that the idea behind that line was, this is a country that has certain ideals written in its documents, and it's been reaching for those ideals since the moment those were written down. We take huge steps backwards, and we take huge steps sideways, and occasional steps forwards. But the way in which change happens is because of young folks like you, and the fact that we're always a work in progress. As people, we're always a work in progress. As a country, we're always a work in progress. That was sort of the idea behind the line. And because that's just true, it kind of speaks to us, whether it's 2009 or 2015 or 2020. But that's a fantastic question. You're very smart. Thank you for that.
Right on. So, Mr. Eddie, can we get a little something?
Oh, you want a little something? What could we do? Well, the beginning of the small town was actually, Jeff, I think you should play Jeremy because that was in the play.
Go mash up.
I don't have my 12 string, so sorry.
I like the Black Hole Sun with the Jeremy thing. That's a.
I will point out something, since I have my keyboard here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's at home drawing pictures of mountaintops with him on top. Lemon yellow sun, they say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. It's pretty close.
Ouch.
I just saying,
Ouch.
it's only a matter of time
See,
before you
George
guys start
Benson
writing for
and
the
Eddie
theater.
Vedder. George
That's
Benson
crazy.
and Pearl Jam.
Sweet George Benson.
That is crazy. That's a little George Benson, Bob Fosse, Jeremy.
It's a good thing.
Folks, you've seen it here. It's going to be the birth of a brand new musical.
Well, I tell you,
Okay, I'm
It
sorry.
really-
You guys play something, please. Don't put the guitar in your lap and
Oh,
then
I
put
don't
it
know what
away.
I don't know, to play, we could, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I seem to recognize your face. Well, I think that we should do something more political or, yeah. Oh, shoot, I don't know, Wayne.
I'll tell you what I've always loved about that song is that it's a complete one act play unto itself. Like it really has a beginning, a middle, and end. It's so beautiful and evocative. Jeremy and Elderly Woman. They're both these sort of complete.
Oh, elderly. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Lynn, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
When you read children's books to your kids, do you give the best readings ever? I mean, are your kids just like completely mesmerized? Like, oh my
I was
God.
thinking the same question when Eddie was talking to his. I was just like, that voice as bedtime story would be the greatest. I do have some pretty good melodies for the Sandra Boynton It's Pajama Time books.
Totally.
I've got some good melodies for that. Your Nose, Pajama Time. Like my remixes of those are pretty good for the kids.
Do your kids kind of give you
I have to
reviews
sing. I
and
sing
stuff?
them. I don't. No, but I mean, I think those are like standards in our house. My kid will
I mean,
be
it
like,
must be
Your
incredible.
Nose.
I mean, every night is like a show. I mean, you just be like, yes.
Yeah, I love to hear
Like
Eddie Vedder singing "Go Dog Go" because that is talk about a great bedtime book for kids.
Yeah.
It ends in a tree and a dog party. I mean, I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, so I'm very much in P.D. Eastman, Dr. Seuss.
Hey, fellas, just to begin to wrap things up, I've got one more question before the wrap up. Now, it's been a rough year for everyone at home. It's been a rough year, not just here in the States, but across the world. I'd like to know what's giving you all hope right now so that your answer can give other people hope.
I'm happy about a vaccine.
Hopeful about the vaccine. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't want to be the first one in line, but I am hopeful for a vaccine as well.
I'll
Yeah.
be the first one. Yeah, I'd love, if they called me tomorrow and said, hey, we want to do a PSA to make sure everybody knows it's okay to do the vaccine and we'll get you and the family, I'd absolutely in a second. It's
I'm
the
in
same
too.
thing they've had for months. It just takes a while to test it. So it's not going to get any better. And that's what we have. And absolutely, it's just part of the road back to normalcy, and it's still going to be a bumpy one, but we all have to do our part. And you know, I'm hoping that there's going to be less bad news to be talking about. You know, we've been in a news cycle in the last 4 years has been like the spin cycle, and every day is something and something horrific, something unbelievable, something nonsensical. And I think when some of that starts to dissipate, I hope the news companies don't try to like, okay, well, people are feeling a little more comfortable. We need to tune them in. So let's start writing articles about how everyone's terrified about a vaccine. And then we'll see how, that everyone will start talking about that. And then it becomes a real thing when it wasn't. The same way we're talking about fraudulent elections as if that was a real thing, and it wasn't. Another thing I've talked to people and they said, we're just our country right now is we're just kind of being tribal. We're separated, we're divided. And I think that the next generation is going to, time itself is going to heal a lot of that. If we can get through this part and get through this next part, the kids we're raising, the kids Lynn is inspiring, those kids that were in the front row watching you as Aaron Burr, Wayne, I mean, they're going to be smarter than we were, more active than we were, at a younger age. And I put a lot of faith in them. I think we're in good hands.
Fellas?
Yeah, that was my answer. It was these kids, man. I'm really I mean, just even the youth turnout for this vote in 2016 was record breaking, and I think I'm really inspired. I'm really inspired by what young folks have been doing, whether it's dismantling white supremacy with the Black Lives Matter protests this summer and continuing that work. I think, or voter turnout. I'm looking to them and getting inspired.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree with in terms of the younger generation. I look at my son Jackson, and he's in his school. They're studying homelessness, and he's 11 years old. And my daughter's in her school. They're studying racism, and these are things that I never really studied as a kid. So that now that this is all or was just barely touched on historically as a when I was growing up. So the fact that it's so much. There's so much more awareness of everything that's going on in terms of the next generation, and I have hope from the Biden-Harris ticket, and I just that was just so I have hope in that, and I also have faith in this process too, that we're having conversations about stuff, but it's all for a point. So thanks for letting us be part of it too. Again,
Yeah.
Stone.
Hello? Oh, is that you talking to me?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What brings
I
you?
was I was thinking about my friend Jeff Ament, who gives me hope, because I was talking to Whitney today, and we were talking about, Jeff has been he's been building skate parks in and around Montana and Idaho and a bunch of states, and he's gone into these either reservations or places where people were really poor, and he gets a group of guys together and they build these skate parks because skateboarding affected him so much as a kid, and it gave him the freedom and the confidence to kind of be who he is. And he's just quietly gone around building, I think he's built 20 skate parks in these different places.
Wow.
And he barely talks about it, and it's kind of all under the radar, but it makes me so thankful that he's out there doing that work, and then it inspires more stuff in our band for us to be generous with all the things that we have. So Jeff, I just want to give you a shout out, man. That's great work.
Thanks.
Wow, man, that's love.
The amazing thing about being in this band is all the different volunteers and organizers that we've met in all these small communities that work so hard. And that's the thing that gives me the most hope going forward, is there's so many people that care. And that is so inspiring. And that's what makes it hard for us to just not want to do more. I mean, it's, you go to bed at night thinking about man, those people that are registering people to vote 16 hours a day and getting on the phone and calling up, or, we've met hundreds, if not thousands of people that are working so hard for little or nothing because they care about people so much. And that's like one of the great fringe benefits of being in the band. I mean, we could be on jets and in leather pants and all that stuff, but this other stuff that we've gotten to do is truly the most rewarding stuff that you could imagine. So I'm grateful and hopeful for that.
Well, I'd love to hear this, and I'm so grateful for the conversation and to listen to you guys and to listen to you all connect. So we're going to have to wrap things up right now. So Georgia, please turn up and turn out. And I would like to thank Lynn. I want to thank Pearl Jam, Eddie, Mike, Stone, Jeff. You guys, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your activism and your artistry. Thank you all for being you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
And I got to thank the guys for supporting Georgia in this runoff. Now, early voting has already started. If you are ready